How you doing, guys? This is your boy Corey, and you're probably wondering why I'm wearing headphones. It's because this new MacBook Air has the worst microphone ever, and you can't hear anything. But anyway, back to business. Yesterday, I put a status out on Facebook of what videos you would like me to make next, and like two people responded saying they'd like to see a bulk diet or how you go about doing a bulk diet. So I'm going to show you that. There's two ways to do a bulk diet. One, there's the easy way. It's called a dirty bulk. A dirty bulk means you lift heavy, light, whatever, however you want to lift, but you eat almost anything. There's no like counting calories, there's no counting macronutrients. If you don't know what a macronutrient is, that is like the protein, the carbs, the fats. That's a macronutrient. So a lot of people do dirty bulks where they just go to the gym, and they just eat whatever they want. They just know they have to eat a lot. So they eat a lot of almost everything. No regards to fat levels or like carbs or anything. They'll have pizza, they'll have hamburgers, they'll have, whatever chocolate. And their theory is that they just want to pack on weight as fast as possible, And if they're competitive and they're going to compete in the show, they'll just diet. Personally, it is the easiest way to do, but I do not recommend doing a dirty bulk. It is more enjoyable because you get to eat whatever you want, but when it's time to cut, you're going to have to cut for so much longer. Like, you might have to cut anywhere from 6 months to a year if you want to do a proper cut to burn off all that excess fat, because you will gain a lot of fat. Unless you're one of those naturally skinny people, which is like, a good amount of people, but the average person usually gains, fat very easy, so you'll see them blow up. They might have like a big chest and arms, but they'll also have like a matching gut. So I really don't recommend a dirty bulk. Personally, I do a clean bulk. A clean bulk is almost like doing a cut where I'm counting everything. I'm counting the fats, I'm counting the carbs, I'm counting the protein, but and I still eat healthy foods. I'm not eating hamburgers, I'm not eating pizza, I'm not doing any of that. I'll cheat once a week, maybe, twice a week the most. I try not to cheat really, but I'm still eating clean foods. I'm still eating wheat, like whole wheat bread right here. I'm still eating oatmeal, bran, baked chips, fish, chicken. Everything has to be lean. Everything has to be from a good source. So that's what I recommended you to do. The purpose of a clean bulk is that, one, you look good in the off season because you're gaining weight. You're going to gain weight very slow compared to a dirty bulk, but at least what you gain will be mostly muscle and minimal fat. Whereas with the dirty bulk, you're going to gain a lot of fat with that muscle. So you're going to blow up and look like a tank, but it's going to look sloppy. Your waist is going to be huge for the most part. Again, unless you're one of those naturally skinny people that have a hard time putting on weight. But for the average person, they're going to blow up. So I say stick to the clean bulk. Get yourself a scale, weigh everything. Weigh your chicken, weigh your fish. And you might ask, well, how do you know how much chicken to eat or what's in chicken? Google it. I Googled it. I Googled, how many ounces of chicken equals how much protein. What I found out was that 2 ounces of chicken or like 2 ounces of turkey roughly is like 13 grams. So usually I'll have about 6 ounces of chicken, so that's about 39 grams of protein, Or, I know 4 ounces of salmon fish is 23 grams of protein. Also, when you're eating bread, oatmeal, everything, count all sources. Now, when you think of oatmeal, you're thinking of it as a pure carb source, which is true. But there's also proteins and fats in there. Don't neglect that. Count your carbs and take that 3 grams of protein into consideration. To start with a clean bulk, which I recommend, you should have about 1.5 grams of protein per pound of body weight to start off with. And you're going to divide that number. So say your protein has to be like 200 a day, because that's what it came out to when you did that math. You want to divide your meals anywhere from 4 to 6 meals a day, spread out anywhere from 3 to 5 hours. I know some people tell you eat every 2 hours, eat every 3 hours, but you know what? If you look at the research, if you Google it online, go to Bible.com, look at Lane Norton, whatever, they'll tell you that every 2 hours really isn't necessary. The longer you make your body wait, the better it is. Because you're kind of like starving it a little bit. So once the muscles get the food within 3 to 5 hours, they'll utilize it better as if you keep feeding it every 2 hours, every 2 hours, every 2 hours. The body doesn't need that. So if you're doing like 200 grams of protein a day, and you're doing 4 meals, that would be 50 grams of protein a meal. So every meal you're gonna have 50 grams of protein. I know when you have like those Quaker packets of oatmeal, it's like 18 grams of carbs, let's say, for one of them. It also gives you 4 grams of carbs. So use that, 4 grams of protein. So make sure you consider that 4 grams of protein towards the rest of the 46 grams of protein you need to have, So 50 minus 4 is 46. So you have to get 46 grams of protein from somewhere else. So that's how you're going to count all the macronutrients. For carbs, so you get the protein on carbs. I always like to have 100 grams of carbs extra than whatever my protein is. So if my protein is 200, I like to have 300 carbs, Every week you should weigh yourself. You're going for about 1 pound a week, up in weight. Every week you should be roughly gaining 1 pound. If you're not gaining a pound, bump up your goals. So say a person has 200 grams of protein and 300 grams of carbs. They weigh themselves, they weigh 150. The next week comes. If they're only 150 or 150.5, I would up the carbs a little bit, which means they're going to get a little bit extra calories. So instead of 300 carbs, I might give them like 320, 325 carbs. And that little bit of extra carbs that you're going to have could raise their weight, an extra pound or two. With the carb source, how you want to split that down between meals, if the protein is like 50 grams, if the protein is 50 grams a meal, the carbs, I would roughly have a little bit in the morning out of 300, like do a percentage. Like if it's 300 carbs, have about, 30 to 40 for breakfast. The bulk of your carbs you want to have before workouts because that's the energy your body's going to use to fuel that workout. And you want it post-workout within, I would say, 45 minutes to an hour after your workout is done, because now your body is starving. It needs to replenish the glycogen that was depleted. Your body needs this. So you want to have the same amount you had pre-workout, have the same amount post-workout. The rest of the meals, you're going to have, it spread out. So if you're doing like 5 meals, let's say you're doing 5 meals a day, right? You're doing breakfast, your pre-workout, your post-workout. That leaves 2 meals left throughout the day. Divide those 2 in half of whatever the remaining carbs is. Experiment, play with it. Everyone's body is different. Everyone reacts different. Some people have a hard time gaining weight. Some people can smell food and gain weight. So you need to play with it, manipulate. You need to weigh yourself. You should get like one of these things. This is a weight. What is this? This is a body measurement tape, measuring tape. The guy from bodybuilding.com. It's probably like $3. I don't know. Measure yourself. Measure your waist. Look at your waist. You want to keep the waist minimal. But anytime you bulk, your waist will go up in size. But you don't want to balloon. You don't want to go from, 1 week you were a 32-inch waist and now, 2 weeks later you're 36. You just went up, 4 inches, or 2 inches in a matter of 2 weeks. That's not a good sign. If you're gaining weight too quick and you can look in the mirror and see that you're gaining a lot of fat, like your gut is starting to come out, or you just have like no definition in your abs, do a little mini cut. Cut back on the carbs, throw in some extra cardio, do a little mini cut, shed the fat a little bit, and you'll still hold on to some muscle that you have gained, and then right after, do a mini cut for about 2 weeks to a month. Once that's over, go right back to the bulk, and if you have to keep repeating the process, do it, bulk a little bit, cut a little bit, bulk a little bit, cut a little bit, and that way you can still stay like in shape, Regardless, I think you should do cardio, throughout the year. Not a lot though, not like for those contests, but maybe 2 days out of the week, do some high intensity cardio just to keep your body on check, keep the body fat as low as possible. Yeah, it's pretty much it. Get a scale to weigh your food. Get a regular scale, weigh yourself once, twice a week so you can see your progress, and look in the mirror all the time. Take pictures of yourself. Always look in the mirror. Your mirror is your best thing, because your weight can fluctuate based on sodium, based on water, based on what time of the day you're doing it. But the mirror is not gonna lie to you. Be honest with yourself. Take pictures, look in the mirror, and be like, I look worse this week, or I look better this week. Be honest with yourself and make adjustments from there. I hope this was useful. It was very basic, very generic, but again, everyone's different, so I can't give a specific detailed plan. If you have any other questions, just inbox me or hit me up and give me other suggestions for what other videos you would like to see. Korey Gonzalez. Out.